Welcome back to Free Media. I'm Robby Soave.
And I'm Amber Duke.
Well, 2024 was full of mainstream media misses, so we're going to pick a few of our favorites. Amber, you can go first.
Okay, thank you, Robby. So mine was probably when MSNBC's Jen Psaki, former White House press secretary, by the way, blamed Donald Trump's election victory on, you guessed it, misinformation. Let's watch.
I think this is a big, huge part of the story that it's hard to even digest fully at this moment. But you have Elon Musk, who owns Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it these days, X, who is a disinformation propagandist and now has could potentially have a direct line to the Oval Office.
Not only could he have a direct line to the Oval Office, he is very much collaborating with Donald Trump, which warms my heart because I'm generally in favor of Elon Musk. But yes, they can't stop blaming misinformation, blaming people being able to go around the gatekeepers of the mainstream media and talk to you directly. They hate that, most of all, in the mainstream media, unsurprisingly. And misinformation is this season's, Russia collusion or whatever.
Exactly. I mean, they couldn't come up with anything else, so this was the best that they could do. And what is so amazing about their insistence that the American people fell for misinformation is that they were actually the biggest propagators of misinformation. And it's actually the case that the American people were smart enough to see through the multitude of lies that they were told by the Biden administration. We hit on this in a previous segment, but the idea that Biden was cognitively capable of being president, let alone serving for another 4 years.
No, that's not misinformation.
No.
No, they didn't do anything wrong there. Of course
no,
not.
That was normal. The border is secure.
Yes.
The economy's great.
It's great.
They said during COVID that Biden actually was responsible for the vaccines when he took office, even though they were created under Trump, and that masks saved everybody's lives.
6 feet. Stay 6 feet. We're not 6 feet away.
It's not.
Could be
It's only
COVID
like 3,
spreading.
4. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these stories and more, I mean, they told a whole lot of lies after the overturning of Roe v. Wade, where they claimed that women weren't able to get access to miscarriage care and tried to fearmonger on that issue pretty aggressively ahead of the election. So this was the Americans seeing through their BS, but they're so addicted to the idea that they have a monopoly on truth that they have to project onto people who don't go with the state-approved narrative.
Well, and there are things wrong on social media all the time. It doesn't mean that all the information now is correct, but the mainstream media gets things wrong. There are wrong things on social media, and you should, consult a variety of sources and specialists when you're trying to formulate your own opinion. But the idea that there's this unique new problem represented, for instance, with what Elon did with X, and that it was all fine before, is just so utterly fraudulent. Well, we'll get to my media clip of the year. Mine was one filled my heart with so much glee as we enjoyed watching Morning Joe beg to be back in Donald Trump's favor after repeatedly, literally calling him Hitler.
Joe and I went to Mar-a-Lago to meet personally with President-elect Trump. It was the first time we have seen him in 7 years.
Now, we talked about a lot of issues, including abortion, mass deportation, threats of political retribution against political opponents, and media outlets. We talked about that a good bit. And it's going to come as no surprise to anybody who watches this show, has watched it over the past year or over the past decade, that we didn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, and we told him so.
What we did agree on was to restart communications. My father often spoke with world leaders with whom he and the United States profoundly disagreed. That's a task shared by reporters and commentators alike.
In hindsight, I think they expected this to go over better with their audience. Their audience hated this. They lost a significant amount of viewers. Their numbers are as low as you can possibly go. You couldn't possibly limbo under the bar for where it is now. It's in some circle of hell. Even Dante did not investigate. So I've been trying to come up with creative new ways to describe how bad their ratings are in headlines for Rising when we talk about it on our other show. So it didn't work, but I think they thought it might.
I'm really grateful that you chose this clip as your clip of the year, because seeing it again reminded me of how delicious it was watching them grovel for some kind of access to Trump again. They were great friends before he ran for president in 2016 and even throughout some of the campaign. And then after he won, they turned into some of his biggest critics. There was the infamous Trump tweet about Mika coming down to Mar-a-Lago and have Bloody from her facelift or what have you, all-time Trump classic. But yeah, I don't know how they thought this was gonna go. I mean, you can't tell your audience for years and years that this guy is the scum of the earth. He's literally Hitler.
Yeah.
He's a fascist. He's going to destroy the country and the democracy that we know and love. But we're gonna negotiate with Hitler. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just so, they basically brainwashed an audience into things that they obviously clearly don't truly believe, and then were shocked.
They might have brainwashed themselves too, for all I know. I
Maybe
don't know
they
what they
snapped out
truly
of it.
believe. I don't know what they really believe.
Well, I would posit that if you are willing to go negotiate with Hitler, maybe you don't
They didn't
actually
think he
think
was.
he's Hitler.
Yeah, now I agree with what they're saying now, that yes,
Sure.
they should be open to, now still critiquing the administration when they disagree with it. I mean, we just went through a whole news cycle over the last few days where people, even ardently within the Trump coalition, massive backers of Trump, disagreeing passionately over what sort of legal immigration levels there should be, and hashing that argument out in public. And I think it'd be great if they bring on different people who disagree, maybe some pro-Trump people, anti-Trump people, everything in between. That would make for a productive conversation. CNN, unlike MSNBC, is trying to do this a little bit. I've seen more robust panel discussions, including with some people that we know that have a little bit of a range of perspectives, and I think that's a good strategy. Haven't seen as much out of MSNBC on that front, but maybe they know their business better than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think Morning Joe's posture there is directionally correct, but what is their real motivation? Is it really that they believe in robust open debate, or are they just trying to cling to power because that's all they really know how to do?
Well, we cling to robust and open debate because we love it so much. We hope you've enjoyed watching Free Media in its inaugural 2024 year. We are expanding, first by creating a new YouTube channel. You can see the link to that down below. Please go and subscribe because we'll be debuting new content on that channel in the future. Thanks for watching, and see you in 2025.